Technology, diversity, wine, the redwoods, and everything in between. Welcome to the Northern California Bay Area, and one show takes you inside the real estate that makes it all happen. This is By the Bay.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to By the Bay. I am your host, Dan Anchetta, and I'm really grateful that you're here today for another episode about Bay Area real estate. And I just wanted to remind you to please like and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever else you find this fine podcast and others from Lend to Ear Media, which is the company that makes our podcast here in Petaluma, California. And I am really grateful today to have Rob Tomasello here from EXP. You're on a team.
Yeah,
right?
I'm brokerage is EXP Realty,
Yeah.
But I'm part of the Drew Nickel Real Estate team.
Nice,
correct.
Cool. So welcome to the show. And we've been like friends on social for a while, but we just met for the first time in person last week.
Yeah, last week, which was pretty cool. You know, it's funny being friends with someone on social media and you're liking each other's posts and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's always awesome to connect in person. So.
Yeah, totally. So we were talking about real estate. We got together and then we decided to pop on and make a podcast because we had some similar experiences kind of growing up playing sports and we're talking about how that led to having like that competitive edge and drive to succeed and, you know, putting yourself in an uncomfortable position. So why don't you introduce yourself to the audience and then let's hop into that. I think that's a cool topic to explore. Like, how do you make yourself uncomfortable so that you can grow and thrive and try new things and push yourself to do what you didn't think you could do before? So let's go.
Yeah,
let's go
totally.
from there.
And yeah, thank you for having me again. My name is Rob Tomasello. I'm with EXP Realty. I'm here in the Sonoma County area with the Drew Nickel Real Estate team. And yeah, back to your question, we were talking about sports and, you know, sports and how they can, you know, transfer to, you know, business and kind of overall life, yeah. Right? You know, you're put in so many uncomfortable situations playing sports, whether it's, you know, double days for football or conditioning for, you played soccer, is that correct?
I played soccer and I wrestled, yeah.
Nice. And you wrestle, I mean, wrestling conditioning that's
brutal.
That's a whole different breed right there, right? You know, the main things I think that I was able to take away from sports and transfer it to business, especially real estate, is, you know, obviously the competitive attitude, which you have as well from playing sports, but the accountability, right? You learn how to be kept accountable, whether you're having to be there at 6 a.m. for weights or whether you're having to do conditioning on your own to make sure you're in shape for the season, right? All those things. I mean, you as a wrestler, you had to be kept accountable for being on weight, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Something I always struggled with.
Yeah, right.
I always came in heavy. That was never my, I wrestled a specific weight, but it was not my natural weight. So I'd come into the season like 20 pounds over. Okay. And then it was like, okay, you've got, you know, a month to get down to your wrestling weight. And it was always a struggle for me. Because, I mean, I was a kid, like in hindsight, I wish I would have known more. Like I didn't really understand nutrition. I didn't really understand all these things. And it wasn't widely available, right? It's like the internet was not a huge thing. I mean,
little different.
Right. Yeah. It was just a completely different situation. Like kids now in high school have like nutritionists and they have like, you know, you can find resources online about how to, you know, eat specifically in specific ways to build your body. And we didn't have any of that stuff. Yeah. It was like white rice and chicken. Yep. And then if you like want to need to make weight, it was like, just don't eat. Yeah. And like, that's not good. No. Anyway. But I think the accountability thing is really interesting because some of the best lessons I learned were from my peers. Like they had, other guys in the wrestling room that were counting on me to hit that weight and to wrestle at that level because we knew that there was a matchup coming, that we needed to have guys in a certain position. And if one person didn't make weight and we had to reshuffle the deck, like that's a real problem for the team, even though it was an individual effort that we had to put in. So I learned like that's something that I think about often when it comes to our mortgage business and our real estate practice is, you know, everyone plays a specific role. Yep. Right. And everyone has to be where they need to be. Same on the football field, right? You played college football.
I did. Yeah. I played college football at Southern Oregon University.
Right.
So yeah, like you were saying, it's just part of the team and everyone has to be kept accountable, right? Whether it's you wrestling and you don't want to let down your teammates or it's whether, you know, you said you can close this deal in 15 days, and the last thing you want to do is let down the clients. You're going to make sure that happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Well, and the team aspect is, it's not just me who does the loan, right? It's like I have an assistant and a processor, and we have a junior processor who does the verifications of employment and all that sort of thing. We have the underwriter and the doc drawer and the manager and the quality assistant, quality control people, plus all of the other systems, the IT systems and the accounting systems and all the other stuff that it takes to run our business. It's not just me. There's an entire company behind us to make it all happen.
Right.
I'm the face of it, right? But they still have to have all that blocking and tackling happen on the field. Otherwise, the play breaks down.
That's it.
Right.
Yep.
So like it's the underappreciated lineman, right? That has that key block that opens up the lane. Like that's what they are all paid to do.
Right.
Right. You're a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I play defensive tackle.
Yeah, so you don't like those.
Yeah,
guys.
I didn't like those guys much. But same thing, I wasn't the guy that was making all the flashy plays. Most of the time, I was getting double teamed and having to fight off two guys so the guy behind me can run through and make the tackle and whatnot. But
it's interesting though on the play. Like let's say that linebacker's coming through and they make that big sack in the backfield. Everyone cheers for that guy,
right?
But they don't necessarily look at the D lineman who took the double team and occupied two guys, or pushed his guy into another guy and opened up that lane for him. That dude doesn't get to get celebrated that much, except for by that linebacker.
That's it,
right?
That's it, yeah.
Because he understands how important it is. Like he's not able to do his big flashy thing, unless you actually made that kind of more boring kind of.
That's it.
Play.
That's it, and it's all goes back to just being a good teammate.
Right. So how does that apply to your real estate practice, right? Because I think there's a ton of parallels and lessons there.
Yeah.
How does that correlate to the team that you're building, and you're on a team now, and why did you choose to be on a team, and kind of talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally. So, I got done playing college football, kind of moved back home, was lost for not a long time, but was lost for a few years. Maybe we can get into that in another episode. But my wife and I, we moved out to Sonoma County from the East Bay about 5 years ago, moved to Sonoma, was doing the personal training thing, and COVID hit. Decided to take that opportunity, take my real estate courses.
And she really encouraged you to do that, right? Didn't she?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You told me that story.
It was all her idea, to be honest with you. Like I said, COVID hit, gym shut down. One day we're at home watching freaking, whatever $1 million listing. And she said, "Hey, Rob, I think you'd be really good at that." I was okay, cool. Kind of just took her trust in it, did the courses, got those done, and took my real estate exam. It actually took me 3 tries to pass that exam.
It's not an easy test.
It's not easy. And, I took it the first time and got, I think it was like a 58%. I was okay, I need to take a different route studying. So I bought a whole nother course, and then I actually went back 2 days later, took it again, got a 69%.
70 pass, right?
Need a 70 to pass.
Man.
I got this, rescheduled again, and went back the very next morning and passed the test. And honestly, from there, when I passed that, I kind of just something clicked in my head, and I knew I could do this and kind of accomplished anything I put my mind to be honest. So I applied to a few different teams in the Sonoma County area. And to be honest with you, the only team that gave me a shot at the time was the Drew Nickel real estate team. I think he's pretty happy he decided to do that. I was
going to say, that's one of the best choices he's probably made, right?
Yeah.
You're doing really great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And, I've been on the team now for about 3 years. Drew's not only the face of the team, he's personally become a great mentor of mine and a great friend as well. And huge part of my success I give to him and just being part of the whole team.
Nice.
So I've now worked my way up in the team, and I'm now a mentor and get to have mentees under me and kind of help them guide them through, and hopefully get them to have some of the same success.
Yeah,
right?
Tell me about that a bit. So I think I've had a similar journey where I had like a coach, right?
Yeah.
And they showed me how to do the business, right? Like I got my license, but that's not how you run the business.
Right.
Getting the license is just the legal compliance stuff.
That's it.
It doesn't teach you anything about how to set up your days and how to make calls and things you need to do and how to follow up and when to follow up and how you empathize and relate to your clients. Like that's all of the art of
Right.
of it.
Right.
You only get the science from from taking the class.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So talk to us about that evolution of going from the student to being the teacher, and like lessons that you learned and how you're like adding to that to give your mentees like your version of what you learned from Drew.
Yeah, totally. A huge thing I've learned from Drew is in this business, you can't just be like everyone else, right? You need to give these people some value. You need to provide value, really each and every day to these people, right? And that's a little more than just posting other people's open houses on your Instagram, right? Find a way to bring these people value, and just really go all out for them. Whether that's bringing them off market properties, whether that's being a great negotiator and getting their offer accepted. My biggest struggle when I got into the business, I was fortunate. I did have some deals, within my first couple months. A lot of that goes to the team as well, and them providing me leads and guiding me. I had a mentor, like I said, Drew, when I got into the business. But from there, I did go through a time where I was struggling, especially when the market was kind of crazy and, we were competing like 10, 15, 20 different offers. Yeah. And where I struggled was just getting uncomfortable and really taking the lead and advising my clients, right? At first you think you're going to advise someone, say, hey, I really think we should go up 10 grand, if you want to get this offer accepted. And you almost have the fear of that by telling them that they're not going to take it the right way, and you're going to lose a client, right? So,
right. So getting uncomfortable is like that kind of underlying theme, and kind of tying it back to like the sports background. Like you have to put yourself in uncomfortable positions. You have to push yourself past the limits of where you think you can go. Otherwise, you won't grow. So like what did you specifically do to make yourself uncomfortable and learn from that experience to take into the next part of your career?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I really just in my head made the switch and said, I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to do things I don't feel like comfortable doing. I'm going to advise these clients in a way where their offer is going to get accepted, whether they like it or not. I got sick of writing offers and losing pretty much. Right?
No one likes that.
No one likes that.
Like it's good to write offers.
It's good to write offers, but you don't get paid unless they're accepted and escrow closes. Right. And so I learned, listen, let me start to really advise my clients any way I can so that they win. And once I started doing that, really taking their hand, but hey, listen, I know it's tough out there. I know it's a little scary. Grab my hand. I'm going to bring you through the fire. It's all going to be okay. I'm going to get you to that finish line.
Right.
Once I took that approach and that, the leadership approach that I learned from football, they loved it. Had nothing bad to say. It was always like, thank you so much, Rob, for the transparency. We wouldn't have got our offer accepted if it wasn't for you. No negative feedback.
But that's what they're coming to you for.
That's
right?
it.
They want, like, that's the mindset shift you have to go through is they don't want to be, they're not coming to you because they want to be told yes, that they're the expert, right? They're coming to you because they want you to be the expert to say, do you want to make an offer or do you want to buy a house? Right. Because there's a difference. Right. So if you want to make an offer, we can go in under ask on a super desirable property that's been listed for one day. We can write that offer if you want to get that out of the way. Right. But you're not going to buy a house. No. If you want to buy a house, we have to understand what the drivers are for the seller, what the motivations are, what their needs are, and what the market is, telling you what the value is. And then we've got to go there. Right. But it's kind of up to you. And I have clients who've made like 5, 6, 7 offers, and I'll finally call them and be like, I'm happy to keep writing pre-approval letters, right? But my question is, do you want to make offers or do you want to buy a house? If you want to buy a house, you better start listening to your realtor because they're going to find out what that number is, and it might not be a number that works for you. Right. But let's at least know what the real number is. Right. And it's having that uncomfortable conversation, right? And if you don't, then you might end up just showing people homes every weekend for the next 6-8 months, and no one wants to do that, right? I mean, I love looking at houses, but I don't really want to. It's like the time. What's the time worth? Right. You have a young family, right? So it's like you don't want to. You don't want to necessarily spend all your time on the weekend with buyers who aren't really serious. Right. If I'm going to take a call on the weekend with someone to get pre-approved, like I wouldn't take time away from my family and my wife and stuff. Like, I kind of want to know that there's a good reason for that.
Totally.
Right. If it's,
totally.
If someone needs some general information, like we can do that during business hours or on a time that's a little bit more convenient.
Right.
But like that weekend time, or, that's really important, weekends and evenings, which is when all the real estate business happens. It's this balance though. Anyway.
Exactly. And and what I like to do too is, when you first talk to these clients and get to know them, which is important to do, right? It's not just a business transaction. You do want to build a relationship with these clients. In fact, a lot of my clients are now good friends, and they come over for barbecues and whatnot.
Isn't that cool? I love when that happens. Like
it's awesome
because there's nothing worse than doing a transaction with someone that you like don't really get along with,
right?
And you see the phone ring and you're just like, oh, dude, I just do not want to talk to this person.
Yeah.
But I know that I have to, so you pick up the phone anyway. But it's way better when it's like, I get you, you get me, we speak the same language, we've got something in common, and like I would want to hang out with you and spend time with you whether we were doing business together or not. Right. Those are the best. Yeah,
those are the best. Let's go look at some homes and hang out.
Right.
But I think it's really important when you do first talk to clients and get to know them, you find out what their why is, right? Like, what's their why? What's their pain behind whether it's buying a new home or selling a new home?
Right.
And that's going to be a huge part in when you are advising them, hey, listen, we need to go, 10, 15 grand over what you're thinking to get this offer accepted. And they give you a little bit of pushback. Listen, Jim, I know your pain. I know your why. Let's get you this home so you're not commuting 2 hours to work and back each night, and you can catch your kids' baseball games.
I mean, for real, right? Like there's a reason why you're doing a transaction. I always wondered if like you're going into a listing appointment and before you start showing them the comps and all the other stuff, like I have all that information for you, but why are we here? Why are we selling? What is happening in your life? There's got to be a reason why the house isn't working for you. There's some type of distress. There's a divorce. There's something is happening that's causing that person to want to do a transaction.
Yeah.
Like I think it's underappreciated how important it is to understand that motivation.
Yeah.
And like how transformational that can be in the relationship and in the business to like take that moment of pause to say, help me understand why we're doing this. Right.
Well, exactly. And it just creates that relationship like we talked about before.
Yeah.
And it also, it helps you when you get into those tough times when you are discussing offers and maybe they're kind of feeling iffy about this and that. It just kind of brings them back to the place why they want to make this happen. Right. So you find out the why, you find out their pain, why they want to buy or sell. And then you just show them the confidence that you're going to do everything you can to get them to that finish line. Right. And same thing now. I mean, obviously the market's changed. People are dropping out. Not as many deals are happening. But they're still out there. You just need to work a little bit harder, right? Which we've talked about. Yeah. Maybe drive a little bit farther to that listing appointment or to go to that showing. But people are still out there, and unfortunately, they have pain of whatever it is, divorce, or maybe it's not always pain. Maybe they've been blessed and they have added another kid to the family, and now they need to upgrade. But either way, if they don't upgrade and they have 3 kids in a 1-bedroom apartment, that's going to cause some pain.
Yeah, right. It's painful. Right. I think speaks to you have a background in like physical training and you're a personal trainer, right? So you have to do the daily grind every single day. Like you don't go and lift once and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm a completely different person. Right. It's like those daily disciplines, the small incremental gains every single day, doing the right things for the right reasons, having the good habits. Right. So can you talk about how like that background of in sports and with your personal training business, that like creating those habits and stacking those habits up kind of got you ready for this career in real estate? Because it is right now, it's a grind.
Totally.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. And you bring up a good point. It is a grind. And in this business, like I said, I do have my mentor, Drew, who, he's hard on me. He keeps me accountable, which I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah. I truly appreciate that. But I also, from sports, was able to develop self-accountability, right? Like, is it better to make, 100 phone calls one day a week, or is it better to make 20 every day of the week, right? What's going to give you better results? That consistency.
Right.
Same thing like with working out,
Right.
Is someone going to get better results, if they go to the gym on a Monday and work out for 3 hours, or are they going to get better results if maybe they go to the gym 5 days a week for 45 minutes?
Right. And they have a plan. They have
right? They have a routine. For
and
me,
they bring that 45 great minutes instead of 3 lazy hours.
That's it, right? They have intensity when they're in there, right? They have a plan of attack. So things that I like to do in my business is time block, right? Make sure everything's on the calendar. That's huge. We're busy. We're running around with our heads cut off sometimes. So got to have it in the calendar. And that's something I learned fast. Another huge part of this business is making your phone calls, right? So on our team, we kind of have guidelines, like at least 150 phone calls a week. I actually run our role play sessions and our calls in the morning. Usually we have a role play session from 8 to 10 on Wednesdays where we do a little script work, role play, and then we'll make, an hour calls after that. I have on my calendar Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, hour and a half to 2 hours of calls. That's non-negotiable, right?
So this is interesting because it's another parallel. Like that's a warm up and that's practice.
Yep.
Like you don't go into the big game cold.
Yep.
And you don't go into the big game not having, practiced the plays.
Right.
And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make is they just go like, I got to make the calls. So they just pick up the phone. And they're like, well, I'm doing Rob said I got to make the calls. So I'm going to make the calls. It's like, well, don't make crappy calls.
Right.
Like if you're going to take the time to make the calls and be vulnerable and put yourself out there and make yourself uncomfortable, like do it well.
Do it well.
Practice it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's two things. Do it well. So have the script down to where when you do get the opportunity to connect with someone over the phone, you make it count.
Right.
Right. And also, if you're going to make the calls, find a time where people are actually going to pick up. So sometimes I'll do it at night. My morning calls are the non-negotiable ones, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning from 8 a.m. to about 10 a.m. But another good time to make calls is, in the afternoons, Tuesday through Thursday. I've had a lot of success from 5 to 7 p.m., right? And you just say, listen, I'm going to make 25 calls. I'm not going to stop until I book an appointment. Have that accountability.
Right.
So make at least the 25 calls or don't stop until you book an appointment.
And so who are you calling?
So we do have leads, right?
Okay. It's like past lead follow-up.
Yeah. Past leads, past lead follow-up, that's a huge one. And that's really improved my business too, being able to use the CRM system, set the reminders, and follow up with these clients, right? Because not all the business is going to happen tomorrow. This is a process, buying and selling real estate. And some people, I've had business from calling someone over 10 times, and then finally that 11th time they pick up, book an appointment, they cancel that appointment, call them a few more times, they pick up again, get the listing appointment, and sell the home.
Right.
It's just how it goes. And it doesn't always mean that when you're calling someone and they don't want to talk to you at that time or whatnot, it's anything you did wrong. They might just not be motivated at that time, right? So usually you get a time frame, set the reminder, and then make sure you follow up.
It's an important part to think about having empathy for those people.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know what's going on in their life.
No.
You don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And you catch them at a bad moment doesn't mean that that's a never call them again thing.
Right.
It just means that they're having a bad day.
Yeah, and don't take it too personally, right? And in the end, we are calling people. Sometimes I'm double tapping them, so they have the right to be a little upset. But I know in the end, I can help them, and they need my help.
I did a bunch of follow-ups this morning on some stale leads, stuff that that we had got from Zillow a long time ago.
Okay,
right? It's I have a campaign. Let's just reach out to these folks and just see, get an update. Are you still in the market to buy a house? When's the last time you got pre-approved? Did you already buy a house? Congratulations. Tell me about your rate. All these types of things.
Yeah.
And one particular person just lit me up. I already told you not to, that I was fine and so on and so forth. And I said, hey, I have all the notes here from when we talked last time, and you kind of left it open-ended. It would be a disservice to you to not follow up and see if I can help. So it sounds like you're all taken care of, and is there anything else I could do for you in the future? I'll go from there. Do you mind if I follow up with you in the future just to check in?
Right.
And this tone totally changed, and it was oh, actually, yeah, that's kind of nice. So yeah, thanks. It's cool. Yeah. People might have otherwise hung up on him for kind of, raising his voice, but it's hey, you're busy. It's 9:00 on a Thursday. It's like, dude, I don't know. Like, I just want to check in and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's not personal. And if you're busy, that's okay. But, you know, I have empathy for people. I know that we're catching them at weird times in the middle of something. Kids are crying. Something's going haywire. They were expecting another call and they picked up yours and didn't realize it was you. Like that happens. And you're just like, hey, that's cool. No worries. And like, if you want to be unsubscribed, that's cool.
Yeah.
If you want me to follow up and see if there's a fit for the future, I'm here to help. Yeah. And there's like no pressure.
That's it. And just like you said, the response you got at the end, right? Like he was appreciative. He appreciated
it. Like, hey, just want to check in and see if you end up doing anything.
And
you
that's
did?
It.
Cool.
And at the very least, you follow up with someone, you set the reminder, you talk to them. If they're not ready to move 6 months, even a year out, usually the response is, oh, thanks so much, Rob. It was awesome. You followed up for me, you know, with me. I appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. You know, please reach out if you need any help in the meantime. If it's okay, I'll set a reminder and follow up with you in the next few months. Yeah, that'd be great.
Great.
Cool.
And like that,
you set them up on some emails or whatnot.
It's safe enough where you punt it down the road so it's not like an immediate, I'm going to call you next week. And they're like, nah, don't call me. It's like sometime in the ambiguous future, I'll reach out and then you can kind of set your reminder and that becomes a future call when you're making your 25 in the future.
Right. And I think the tough thing is, you know, you see the shows like $1 million listings. You know, the market was crazy not too long ago. It was easier to get deals. And I think you see a lot of people get into this business and they think it's going to be easy, right? Maybe they don't like being held accountable, right? Not everyone's meant to be held accountable either or necessarily be part of a team. And that's okay.
Right. I think a lot of people treat it as like a lifestyle business. Yeah. Whereas like, well, you know, people call me and then I help them with their real estate needs.
Yeah.
And like if you want to be at the mercy of, you know, your first degree followers or your first degree connections having a real estate need, then that might be totally fine for you. And you just kind of do deals when they, you know, kind of fall in your lap. But if you want to have a repeatable, sustainable, predictable business, you have to do the boring, crappy work, right? You have to make the phone calls and get hung up on and do the door knocking and host the open houses and make all the follow-up calls and do all the stuff. Like, well, yeah, guys, you don't have to do all that stuff, but that's one way to do it, right?
That's one way to do it for sure. And I think a proven method of success, right?
Especially if you don't have a huge book. Like if you've got 5,000 past clients, you could probably sit back and just mine your database and go back and talk to all your past clients. But for someone who's brand new in a new market, because you didn't grow up in Sonoma, right? You grew up in the East Bay?
Grew up in the East Bay. Have done a few deals that way. But yeah, I grew up in the East Bay and moved to Sonoma, like I said, about 5 years ago.
Yeah, so you're like in a new place, in a new industry. Yeah. And so it's not like deals are just going to come to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, have to go find obviously the goal is... And it's a process. Obviously, that's the goal in the end, right? To have my phone ringing, that's the goal. But it's a process to get there, and you know, it's a matter of trusting the process, right? And I don't know if you've heard this before or seen this, but they say it takes about 90 days to trust the process, to make your phone calls, to do the follow-ups, for things to really start clicking for you. Yeah. I mean, same thing with working out. You need to trust the process, right? Someone could hit the gym hard for 3 weeks, even 4 weeks. I'm not losing any weight. I'm not getting stronger. Trust the process, right? Nothing worth it comes easy, right? You gotta, you know, the other thing too is to be successful in this business, you gotta do a lot of things when you don't feel like doing them, right? We were talking about that earlier. Yeah. Got to go show a home on a Sunday, but the Niners game's on. Get your butt up and go show the home.
You just stream it on your phone. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But you know, just in some people, you know, they're with it. They want to grind to make it happen. And other people, they'd rather watch the Niner game on a Sunday, and that's okay, and that's cool, too. Right. Yeah. You know, I'll do my best to schedule stuff around the football games, but if someone wants to see a home, then that's first priority.
Yeah, I'm all for setting boundaries. Like I know some agents that are like, hey, like I'm just gonna let all my clients know, like this Sunday I'm not available. Yeah, like it's my whatever anniversary, it's or whatever. Like, and they have an assistant or a partner or you know, someone else on the team, a teammate that's gonna like pick up the phone if they happen, they forward their calls essentially. I'm all for that. I think it's really good to be able to disconnect, but on a day-to-day basis, you know, you have to time block, like you said, and make it a priority and make sure that your family is, you know, taken care of and that they're getting the time and attention that they need. But also, like, sometimes the business just has to get pushed to the forefront, especially as you're growing and in a hard market. Like
especially right now, you gotta take the opportunities where you can get them. Yeah. Right. I do need to do a little bit better about when I say I'm going to be off for the day, or, you know, I'm going to take the day off, of kind of leaving the phone to the side and not picking it up.
I find like, you know, from my house, just the gesture of like, I'm just going to put the phone in the nightstand.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, let's just watch a full episode of something without me
looking at
my phone.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way.
It does.
And it's probably, so if my wife, hi Meg, is listening, I should probably do that more often. She's probably thinking, yeah, you do that very infrequently. That's probably a good thing to do more regularly. It's like, shut it down, like just for like an hour.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference in like my like mental kind of state of just like allowing myself to disconnect, like from 8 to 9 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Nothing that urgent is going to happen that I can't wait until later or in the morning or whatever.
Right.
But I feel like we're also conditioned to be like right there on the phone, right there, readily available. So if a lead comes in or a question gets asked or someone needs something, if you're calling me because you need a pre-approval, that I'm like, I've got to be on it this exact moment. Like, you don't care if it's 9:04 when I send it or 8:32. Like, it just does, like, you're going to get it. Right. So yeah, it just makes a big difference to have a little bit of break now and again.
It does. Yeah. It does. And
it's like a rest day, right? It's like going back to the sports thing. Like, you got to have a rest day.
Or you are going to burn out, right? And like, you know, Drew suggested I do is, because I am a workaholic and it's tough for me to do that, but he's like, put it in your calendar, right? Even if it's just an hour, put it in your calendar, make it a non-negotiable, and just put the phone in a drawer, like you said, and go spend an hour doing whatever with
something.
the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I'll be like on the Peloton, like texting.
Yeah.
My wife's like, dude, how about you just put the phone, like, let me take it out of your hands because you're clipped into the bike and you can't get out.
Yep.
And just give the task that you're doing for yourself all of your attention for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard, but it's hard to do.
It is hard to do. It is hard to do. Right. It's something I think everyone should work on, though. I know it'd be good for me and gives you that little break. I'm sure the wives would appreciate it.
For sure. 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
So
my wife and I talk about, you know, just the work-life harmony. There's no balance. Balance is a joke.
Yeah.
It's all about harmony. How do we all play together? Everyone plays their part, all the instruments playing together so that the music sounds right.
Yep.
But that's difficult to do and takes a lot of, you know, intentionality and focus to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's something that we're still working on. Just even though I've been in the industry for like 7, almost 8 years, it can completely take over your life.
Totally.
And it's hard to, you know, remember to find the balance and what's the most important. Like, why do I work so hard?
Right.
Like, why do you work so hard? It's for your family.
For the family.
Right.
That's it.
Same. It's like, because I like to be successful because I'm very competitive.
Yep.
I like to win. I'm a very poor loser. I hate losing, which I think is a good thing.
Yep.
And two, you know, I care about my family, want to provide for them and show them what success looks like and give them more opportunity than I had.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's all about finding that balance, right? But yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm the same way, you know, and that's real. All that matters is providing for them and giving them a good life. And like I said, if you find, and that's why anyone that gets in the business, whether it's a realtor, you know, mortgage broker, really anything you do in life, if you want to be successful, you need to find your why. And when times are tough, when you don't want to do something, you know, when I don't want to make phone calls in the morning, because trust me, more than half the mornings, I don't want to do that. Yeah. But you think of your why, and it makes it easy in a sense, right? It makes it easy to get done. So yeah, I truly believe anyone that's successful has to have a strong why. Yeah. Right.
And I think this applies to everybody, right? So
to everyone, right? And same thing, because when you first get in the business, and I see this happen to a lot of people, they get into the business, they're super motivated. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to go do these many open houses. I'm going to make this many phone calls a month. Well, the problem is that motivation can fade really fast.
They buy it's the equivalent of the person who shows up with the brand new gym equipment. They got the new bag. They've got the new bows. They got the whole thing ready to go.
January 1st.
They got their beats on and they're ready to go. They fade out. Right.
They fade out because they don't get the fast results.
Right.
And they don't trust the process. Right. And it's, you know, it also goes back to, you know, when someone is crushing it, a lot of people, oh, that must be nice, or, oh, you know, this and that. It's like, well, dude, the process of him getting there was tons of hard work, tons of sacrifice, maybe, you know, time spent away from their family, and it, you know, they deserve everything they get.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it goes.
Well, and I think that moment, there's like that one moment of glory. Like you get to, you close the transaction, you get to, you know, celebrate that, you post about it, you get the accolades, whatever. But to me, it's like, it's again, similar to like when you're playing a sport. I spent hundreds of hours preparing for a match, and it would last sometimes, you know, a minute.
Crazy.
It's like hours and hours and hours of prep, hours of this, cutting weight, eating this, running to and from practice to make, you know, to do what I need to do, all these other things. And then it's like 30 seconds of a match.
Yeah.
But that's, then you get celebrated for that. You get celebrated for the win, but you don't necessarily celebrate the process. And if I can go back in time and talk to, you know, younger Dan, I would encourage him to celebrate the process of getting there. Like that, ending that practice, and you just gave it your all.
Yeah.
Being so exhausted that you just like go home and pass out because you left it on. Like that's the thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
In addition to, you know, winning.
Well, because that's what's getting you better, right? It's not necessarily you winning the 30-second match that's getting you better, that's causing you to grow. It's those tough workouts where you give it your all.
Right.
And same thing with football. It's like, man, we have freaking AM condition in the spring. And then, you know, I would stay in the summers in Oregon and train with the team all summer, wouldn't come back home. And then you have double days in August, and you do all this stuff for 10 games with some extra games if you're lucky to play playoffs or a bowl game. So, yeah, man, I would probably say the same thing if you could go back and really just, you know, appreciate those little wins, right? Getting done with summer conditioning. Let's celebrate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point right there.
Yeah, I think that's a good shift and takeaway for the show is like, you know, trust the process and then celebrate the process as you go through it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you get that person, you earn that person's trust and they decide that they're going to, you know, list the house with you. Celebrate that. Don't wait till you sell it.
Right.
I mean, celebrate then too, but celebrate the fact that you did the thing, you did what you set out to do.
Yeah.
You met the person, you added value, you showed them, you know, what you're going to do differently than everyone else. And in the end, they chose you.
Right.
Like, that's a win.
That's a win for sure. Yeah, that's a win for sure. It's all about stacking those wins, right? Because and that's an uncomfortable thing too at first. You know, luckily Drew and I, we go on a lot of listing presentations together, but there's also been, I mean, from the very start when I didn't know what I was doing, Rob, go get uncomfortable. Go on this listing appointment. If you sign them up, great. If you don't, who cares? It's good practice.
You're going to learn a ton either way.
You're going to learn a ton. You're going to get more comfortable. And I took all those opportunities, man, whether I wanted to do it or not, how uncomfortable I felt. I just said, you know, I know this is going to get me better. And it has, right? And it's paying off now. And, you know, now I feel like it's just keeping things going strong, trying to add a few other things to get better, right? Trying to get better on social media, create more content, which we've talked about.
Which we're doing right now.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to do this as well. But yeah, and just, you know, just thinking outside the box to bring something different to the table, right? And I think it's just letting people feel comfortable like you're the guy that's going to get the job done, right? And we like to give a little presentation, get to know the clients, let them know what we're about as a person, but most important, like we talked about, it's finding out the why,
right?
The why to the sale,
right? I mean, something to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
When you figure out like what is the thing that makes this client tick?
Yeah.
What is the thing that's going to help them see through the discomfort that they're going to be in? Buying or selling is uncomfortable. You're moving your family, you're changing locations. There's fear about, is this the right time? Is it too expensive? Can I afford it? Like all these other things that come in. And if you guide them with confidence and you help them see like through all of that and say like, but I understand that you're uncomfortable, but remember on the other side of that discomfort is you achieving the goal.
Yeah.
Having that safe place for your family, feeling that sense of accomplishment, whatever that thing that drives them. And that's I think that people miss that. I think the people go, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's your budget?
Yeah.
And that's where the conversation goes.
Yeah.
And they skip over the whole, like, but why are we here?
That's it.
Right.
That's it. You know, digging deep. And yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's your budget? Cool. Let me look on Zillow.
Right. I'll send you some listings.
And it's like, you know, they can do that themselves.
Well, and they deserve better.
and they deserve better.
Right.
Right. So that's kind of how I feel about that. And, and it's just really, I think it's just a numbers game, man. It's like I've found out that if I make a certain number of phone calls, that I'm then going to have a certain number of appointments, right? We like to talk about we have certain metrics we like to meet each week and hold each other accountable on, especially with the mentees. And I think the biggest one is if I'm able to get 5 new face-to-face appointments a week, I'm gonna get at least an escrow that week, right? If I'm able to get 5 face-to-face appointments a week, now maybe that's through Zillow, maybe that's through leads I'm calling in the CRM, but usually if I can get in front of 5 people a week, there's someone in there that has a good why and some motivation, and we can get that into escrow by the next week.
Yeah, that's great. I really,
and so
I think understand the numbers. The numbers that people don't understand is like they don't understand the funnel.
Yeah,
how many top, middle, qualifying, end. Right?
Yeah.
Like
so what we like to do, 5 new face-to-face appointments a week. 5 other clients shown homes, past clients, right? That you're showing homes, show them 5 new homes, 2 offers written a week, 1 offer converted, and 1 new review, right?
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to fit into a work day in addition to making all the calls and doing your other life and, doing all the other things. So I think it's just, again, goes back to that time blocking and making sure you're focused on what's the most important thing. And there can't be much wasted time in your day.
No.
Right? Like there's no sitting around. You've got to go and, it's a grind from beginning to end, and probably goes into the evening times as well too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm big on the working out too. Right. And when I'm in the gym routine and making sure I'm at least going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, always in the morning, get the mind right, get that crap out of the way. And then you can go on throughout your day and you're in a good vibrating mindset, right? You're going to attract good things. You're in a positive mindset. I think anyone that goes to the gym in the morning and knocks out a good hour workout, an hour of cardio, they're going to leave the gym feeling good, ready to take on the day.
I know that I do. Like the mornings that I miss my workout, I'm like, I got kind of playing catch up all day.
Exactly.
But getting to it and starting the day with that like physical exertion, just have better days when that happens. And it's actually funny because I will still have those days where I'm like, I'm not getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we're all susceptible to it. And I instantly regret it. Like as soon as that time, there's not enough time to like get it done anymore.
As it passes, right? My gym time's gone.
Dang it! I should have gotten up, and then I kick myself the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. So good reminder to like that discomfort is a motivator to go. Like, don't spend your day feeling crappy that you didn't get up and go after it hard. Yeah,
and to be honest, I mean, when I was younger. Besides sports, because that was always kind of a priority, but, other things in my life, whether it was going to another job or whatnot, I never, and I'm talking like, mid-20s here, but if I didn't feel like doing something, I didn't do it.
Right.
If I didn't feel like doing something, either I complained about it a lot or I just straight up didn't do it. And I think when I turned 30, and especially when I got into this business, like if you want to make it, if you want to do well for yourself, if you want to provide for your family, you need to do things when you don't want to do them.
100%.
Right? Like let the feelings go aside and just get the stuff done because it's on your calendar, because it's a non-negotiable, and it just has to get done.
Yeah. I think when you give yourself over to that and you're like, this is not an option. There is no, tentative appointment here. Like this is happening and I've just got to do it. And once you start, it's actually fine. It's just getting going is the hard part in my experience.
And you know what it does once you start and you get it going, like you said, that's the hard part. But you start to build confidence in yourself, right? Because especially if you're someone that sets goals and then the time comes and, you don't feel like doing it. And then you don't go to the gym that day, but you told yourself the night before, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go to the gym at 6 a.m. You wake up, you hit the snooze button and don't go. Your confidence is going to start to go down, right? If you can set things and say, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning, you wake up, you don't feel like it at all and you still do it, right? Or you wake up and you don't want to make calls, but you still get those, 25, 30 calls done. Okay, over time, you're going to start to build a lot of confidence in yourself, and you're going to know that no matter how you feel, right? No matter what other voice inside your head, you're going to get the job done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, man, I think there's a ton of takeaways here, and I appreciate the conversation about the kind of sports background and kind of how that competitive desire, right, kind of leads into your early success in your career, and you're crushing it for,
I appreciate that.
Being 3 years in, and I'm watching your numbers, and you're just, you're doing phenomenal. So if anyone out there is struggling or is unsure about how to proceed with their real estate practice, I would encourage you to reach out to Rob and the Drew Nickel team, and get some advice, even just to chat about like, what are you doing, what are you experiencing, and get some insight from you. I think you're a great example of someone who's come into the business and has really just gone for it. And you can see that that's working out really well. So congratulations on all of your success, and I appreciate you being on the show. And I would definitely want to do another one about your the background and kind of how we got to be. We didn't even get into any of that stuff. So it'd be cool to have you back.
We'll need a few more episodes for sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah, man. Like you said, Dan, anyone that wants to pick my brain, hit me up. You can reach out to me over Instagram or whatnot. We can set up a time, get some coffee, and just kind of chat, go from there.
I'll put your all the links and stuff in the show notes so people can reach out to you, and hopefully they'll do that.
You're the man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being on By the Bay.
Thank you for having me.
For sure.
Stay up to date with Bay Area real estate. Hit subscribe now if you haven't already. Did you enjoy this episode? We love reviews in the Apple Podcasts app. We'll read yours on the show. This is By the Bay.